Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. This is our little kind of lock-up storage room where we keep a lot of our gear. Monitored bumping stations. These are all wireless temperature alert systems. Operate on cellular system. Dust track monitors. Monitoring particulate in the air. Gas detection, replacement stuff, air quality monitors. And we got all sorts of test gas, any gas that you want. Got all the toxic gas you could ever want. And it just serves as a really nice hangout. Cleaned it up in here a little bit with the table. Stole a couple nice office chairs. I'm working on indoor air quality monitor that's not operating correctly. Or I think it's operating correctly, it's just not communicating correctly. Anyway. What I wanted to just maybe touch on really quick was the importance and work one puts in memorizing ritual, the memory work. I'm no stranger to performing memory work and doing memorization. Going through Blue Lodge Freemasonry, there's a significant amount of memory work required. It's like kind of memorizing a small short story or something like that. But when I'm up here, it's difficult for me to make meaningful videos or cool videos. I kind of hop on here when I find myself alone in a weird spot where I think I won't be bugged. Can't really make videos in the condo with the roommate. It's kind of tricky. With regards to the memory work, when I'm up here, very little ritual, very little reading. I'd like to read more, but even when I find time like this where I can just kind of hide and hang out, like I work 14 days, 12-hour days with not including commuting and making groceries and meals and sleeping and showering and all. My time here is very limited, and the free time that I do find and the time like this that I do find, I just find I'm mentally just drained. I'm exhausted. This is an exhausting job for what it is, like it's very slow, it's very easy. That sounds like a dream job on paper, but it's tricky, man. It's tricky. It's like a very high paid version of going to jail. But what I can work on here is memory work. And what I've been working on up here this shift in preparation for performing Goetia has been the Bornless ritual. And I have been working on this memory work, memorizing that ritual all last week and a half, 2 weeks now, and it's a tricky one, man. It's a tricky one. Sorry, I can hear keys and shit jingling. I think someone's coming. See, that's what I hate about this fucking place. You're always wondering, like, oh shit, is someone coming? And then it's probably just some fat fuck over there at the vending machine outside the door, sniffing out a Twix. Anyway, see, and then it makes me lose my train of thought. Memorizing the Bornless ritual and vibrating these names, and then I started thinking about the actual art of, or the meditation and art of the memory work itself. And with Masonry, it's not just to prove that you're willing to put in the work and memorize something and pass, and a lot of people treat it like that, but it's forcing you to see the material and think about it to the point of memorization, just to know what you're getting into and know what the values are and the morals are and how the deportment and the ethics, and there's no reason for you to not know because you had it all memorized, right? And it's actually kind of a beautiful process, very genius if you think of it like that. And with regards to the Goetia, I think drawing a circle on the ground, they say that it's it works. You can just put a rope on the ground to do it that way, but I'm finding that actually building a magical circle and taking the time to work on all the names of God and generate these names of God and memorizing the Bornis ritual, and even if it's illegible to you, you're vibrating these names of God and meditating on them and evoking them and invoking them and resonating with them. And I'm learning it's a lot more than just whipping up a bunch of shit to act like a force field around you so you can get your giggity on and do whatever the fuck you want, and a lot more of you actually spending time invoking these names and learning these names. And when you do that, you're invoking God. You're invoking the names of God. You're vibrating the names of God and the elemental spirits and the elemental angels and all this, right? And I had a curious occurrence yesterday. I've been working on memorizing the quarter of water, and I was in the truck driving around vibrating the names of the quarter, and I had 2 bottles of water in my knapsack or my backpack, and they both just burst open and flooded all over the seat beside me. And I thought that was, at the moment, at the time, I was like, ah, fuck, I just spilt all my water. But looking back at it, I was like, that's kind of an interesting coincidence. Sorry, I hear jingling again. Fuck this place. Taking the time to meditate on the bigger picture and invoke the greater powers, focusing on that and not what it is you're trying to achieve, is kind of like a practice of meditation that, sorry, I'm struggling to kind of put this in the word. The person, the revelations and insights and energies and emotions that you'll experience meditating on the names of God and vibrating the names of God, the person who was going to step into the circle and perform their magic might not be the same person after you've put in all that work and all that meditation. Something to think about, maybe something to practice, something to experiment for with yourself. I guess that kind of that's kind of the only point I wanted to get across. I wanted to show off this room, make a record of this room for myself for the future, so I can look back and be like, oh fuck, I remember spending hours in that room. And just kind of talking about the vibrating and memory work and vibrating the water names and having the water burst. That was kind of neat. Coincidence, probably, maybe not. Who knows? Life's a coincidence. Life is magic. Love is the law. Love under will.